All right, everyone. So welcome back to Watchdog News, which is part of Watchdog Ministries. So today, I'm going to let her right here introduce herself. Go ahead, Iryna, introduce yourself.
Hello to everybody. Hello, America, USA. I'm Iryna. I'm blogger. I have YouTube channel in on the YouTube. Yeah, it's called Amazing Ukraine. So there I tell about the situation in Ukraine, the life in Ukraine, history, culture. We try to be positive, although there is war, but we have a lot positive information advantage. So I try to keep it on. In Ukraine, I was a tour guide. I show Ukraine to different people from over the world. Also to Americans. I had awesome tourists from America. But due to the war, we needed to leave the country. Now we live in Great Britain. But twice a year we go into Ukraine. And just in 3 weeks, we come back to Ukraine, and I'm so happy. I'm just looking forward for this and for new videos from Ukraine.
Yes. So, Iryna, your channel, so Amazing Ukraine, it focuses on Ukrainian culture and traditions. Is that right?
Actually, I started it with history of Ukraine because with my diploma, I'm historian. I studied ancient history at university. So I did a lot of video about history of Ukraine. And after the war started, I just make video about daily life, what's going on. We moved to Moldova after we moved to Great Britain, but all the time I try to keep these videos. So yeah, so basically most about culture, but also about like daily life, how people live in Ukraine right now.
Yes. So, what are some of the defining aspects of Ukrainian culture that you think the world should know?
Okay, about cultures. I think you have seen our spirit, Ukrainian spirit, because this war is not something like propaganda told. A lot of Russian propaganda told that this is Americans fight from against Russian, but this is not true because actually ordinary people, they started this movement, they fight against Russian because we have seen a lot of different bad things that Russia bring to us. There are a lot of ruins in the eastern Ukraine. I try to focus on the part that are survive, that are still alive and everything. But I think what is the difference between Ukrainians and Russia, first of all, because I believe that Ukraine is a true European country. I don't mean in sense of politics like European Union, but in sense of ideology, in sense of moral freedom. Actually, our country is free. People can freely tell their opinions about different political events, about everything. You can support this candidate or another candidate. We have parliament, we have actually many people during the president election voted for Petro Poroshenko, former president. 73% voted for Volodymyr Zelensky. I also voted for him. Yeah. So Ukrainians support our president a lot because I think this is like mutual work, and government and Ukrainians. Without government, we would not be fighting. That's Zelensky, his team, and all people who work in the government in Ukraine. They are doing an amazing job because they keep all offices, all government working. During the last winter, there was the great attack on the electric system in Ukraine, but government tried to make it going. Sometimes they off the lights so people had blackout, but nevertheless, people did not complain. They are just understand that there are on front line. There are guys who struggle more than we. So actually, that from Soviet Union we got some probably not good habit to complain about something, especially old people, because in Soviet Union we used to that's everything like going normal. People work, they get some salary, not very good salary, but this is okay. When in 90s there was the big economical crisis, so people lost their jobs and started to complain, so on. Many people went to work to Poland. So a lot of people from my village, from different, they came to Eastern Europe to work there. They got some money and they understand that we should not only work for somebody, we can work for ourselves. They came back home, and I think for the last 10 years, a lot of people started new businesses, especially farmers. In our village, there was the big collective farm in the Soviet Union. That Soviet leader Stalin, he created the big farming opposite of the private farm. Many people lost their land in that time, and all land became governmental. Many people were sent to Siberia or something like this. My grandfather also had the huge land, but they were taken from him. And in 1933, in America, there was time of prosperity and everything, economical development. But in Ukraine, it was difficult, very difficult situation, because we have so-called the big famine, when Stalin took away all grain, all food from the people, and many people just died of hunger. What happened with my grandmom, that she lost 2 of her children that time. So, behave of actually Soviet Union and government was very bad in that time. They just try to press all people. They don't like free people. They don't like free farming. So I think during the last 20 years, we just started to come back to free land, to free farming, because Ukrainians used to be free. We had a lot of private farming. So I think this is the time when we come back. And in the same time, Russia, they saw that Ukraine going on further and further from them to Europe. So Russia did not like it, especially Putin. Yeah, and I think it was the reason why they tried to conquer us, why they tried to take us from the earth. And if you ask me why people should to stay with Ukraine, this is not only Ukrainian war, first of all, because I think especially Europe, especially Eastern Europe, they are interested that Ukraine win. If, for instance, we can imagine that Putin take over Ukraine, he would be use all Ukrainian resources. We have a lot of farming land, a lot of weaponries, a lot of people. Yeah, some people will be killed, some people going away, but there are people who are neutral and they can join Putin army. What is the most the most bad situation in this? And this army can just attack the Eastern Europe, Poland or Latvia. Even now, Polish president started to show his concern about Russian Russian army. Before he did not care about this, but now when Trump told that he can take away NATO's militaries from the Eastern Europe, he started to worry about So I think this situation when American president decided not to support Ukraine, it's helped to wake up to Europe. It's helped them to see that they need to do something. That we together can do something, not only America, Yeah. Now there are a lot of different meetings with Zelensky in Western Europe, and we hope that we make some collaboration with other states. But I think Ukraine should to think about also independently. It should to be more independent. I agree about this. If you go to Ukraine, I hope that Americans can go to Ukraine. It's not so dangerous because I go to Ukraine in 3 weeks. There are people live their ordinary life, I have a lot of people who are doing businesses there. I started interview with Americans, with foreigners who live now in America. One of them, Ricky, who introduced you as well, your channel. So I'm happy about this. So as foreigners told that you can live in Ukraine, there is air alarm. Sometimes there are drones on rockets, but people used to. With kids, it's difficult because during the air alarm, kids need to go to bomb shelters. That is why I prefer my son started here in British school. But actually, I was in Kiev in August last year in summer. So in the morning that I was in the way to Kiev, there was news about rocket attack to Kiev. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going there and there are rocket attacks, what I'm going to do. But fortunately, in 8 o'clock, it's finished. I came there like at 9 o'clock. And people just doing their ordinary life. I came to some cafe house. There are beautiful cafe houses. There are very nice people are doing business still, not ever. And just lady came there. She told, there was rocket attack. There were some drones hit it, and some part of the drone fell down. But they just clean it and move ahead. But I agree that this is a very serious crime to Putin because every week some building is bombing and many civilians are killed.
I've seen the video.
So we need to stop it. Yeah, I agree.
I've seen
I would like to say that Ukrainians are very strong nations. Even now during the war, Ukrainians are doing their businesses. They continue their work, they continue life. And I think if America, Europe support us and help us to get rid of the Russia, we will be build our state. It's not a problem. We can rebuild our state. You should not worry about the money from US and something. We will just keep up what we are doing, and I think everything will be great. So, this is
my next question for you. It is since the full-scale Russian invasion in 2022, there has been an intensified global interest in Ukrainian culture. From your perspective, how has the war changed how Ukrainians see their own culture? Has it led to a stronger sense of identity?
I think the war changed a lot Ukrainians. Because people who were not interested in, they were not so big patriots, but nevertheless, then Russia invaded Eastern Ukraine, they started opposite of Russia. I know many friends who changed their language. They were all their life they are Russian speaking, but they changed us in Ukrainian, and they told us we would never come back to Russian language. I understand that this is not like the big deal, and here in Oxford I have friends who speak Russian. I'm not here just this not question, but many people prefer to speak Ukrainians. Yeah, a lot of collaboration, a lot of people united together. For instance, sometimes I'm doing video about volunteers in my village. They cook food for front line. You know that our region is like 600 kilometers from front line. This is Cherkasy region, central Ukraine, about 200 kilometers from Kiev. But people, ordinary people from the village, they cook food. They make some connection with another organization. In every town, in every village, we have volunteers, volunteering organization who collaborated together. For instance, they cook food, and other guys from the town pick up it, going to front line, to Bakhmut, to different their guys. Some women come to front line and just cook borscht there, Ukrainian dishes. Yeah. No matter of the shooting, no matter of everything. I think, yeah, as you former militaries, you can understand how it's feelings, yeah, all of
I
this.
was going to say absolutely. From a military standpoint, yes, it's Ukraine is. I'm watching closely. It's because you're right. I agree with you. It's very important. I think a lot of people don't understand the importance of what's happening. It's more than just the battle for you. It's just you're right. I agree with you. It's very important. What's happening is important. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I think in such moment when you can lose your life, you see many things totally different from your ordinary life. I think the first time when we came to bomb shelter in my town, we feel like there are no past, no future. We just in this moment. And I don't know, but you feel so silent and you don't plan anything. You know, that you just believe in God. I think this is the main thing that you understand that life can be short, but during this life you should to do your the best. This is my idea, that you should to use this time and to do your the best that you can. So for me it's very important to share information with other people and to show my country. Yesterday I got a very nice comment from lady from America. She told that they are very support Ukraine. They going for Ukrainian meetings. They thought that Ukraine is ruined totally, but she told that watching my video, she told that there are slave people still. There are beautiful environment and everything. So I think. We need more popularize Ukraine more and to show Ukraine to other people, especially to people who cannot go in abroad. You know, you know that when I was tour guide and I had foreigners, tourists, Americans, I thought that's all people going abroad from their country, like they were in Ukraine, but there are just not much. I think like in England, here also people don't travel a lot and don't know real situation. But this is really important to see by your eyes. That is why I come back to Ukraine twice a year, because I would like to feel it and to see it, how it's going on. There is, you know, this is.
Well, I had come across something interesting. I think you might enjoy this. So, according to a 2023 study by the Kiev International Institute of Sociology, the war has led to a surge in national identity, with over 85% of Ukrainians identifying more strongly with their culture. This has been reflected in a revival of the traditional Ukrainian dress, language laws, and cultural preservation efforts. What say you?
Do you mean that's like in positive way, like in fact, as I told, that many Ukrainian speak Ukrainians, because, for instance, I came to Kiev about 20 years ago. I was a student, and there are a lot of people who speak Russian. It was like half Ukrainian. Not many people speak Ukrainians, but during the Orange Revolution 2004 and during the Maidan, a lot of people changed their positions. I don't know, that I went to Europe in 2011 first time. Together with my friend, we finished university and we decided to see what's going on in Western Europe. It's nice to see another. And I feel that people are so free. They like very, very liberal, very free. I don't know how to explain. It was a difference from post-Soviet countries. We had seen, of course, beautiful building. It was Italy, France, Spain. We traveled by hitchhike, so it was cool, yeah, in such way. But now I feel that Ukraine became something like this. That we lost this Soviet mentality and be more and more like have free society. In Russia, situation it's a bit different because Russia, especially after 2014, was started to be under the sanction in US, and now they have not much flight. They have flight just to Turkey, to different Eastern countries. So I think they are more like closed society, and they really have dictatorship there. You ask why Russians don't fight for their freedom, for everything. They have different mentality. Although Ukraine and Russia was close in the old time, but I don't know how you know history. In medieval time, on the territory of Ukraine and modern Russia, Belarus, was the big state called Kiev Rus, Rusinia. And the center of the state was in Kiev. It was capital of this. But the territory of Russia, where is now Moscow, it was totally wild area. This area called the area Zalisia, the area after the forest. So it was also part of the Rus, but nobody wanted to go there. So Kievan prince, he sent his son to different principalities. The oldest son got the best principalities, like Novgorod. This is near St. Petersburg. In that time, it had nothing to do with Russia at all. Western Ukraine, Galicia, there is Lviv, there are Rikit live now, yeah. But the youngest, they got after this wild place. So in the end of 11th century, the youngest son of Volodymyr Monomank, the king princess, got that wild place there. His name was Yuri Dolgoruki, and he is considered as the founder of Moscow. Yes, many people who went to Moscow, they have seen like warrior with sword. So this Yuri Dolgoruki, he was the son of king princess. So the center of that state was not Russia, but Ukraine, actually. Yeah. Moscow in that time, it was like village. So Yuri, he had more connection with wild tribes from the east. In that time, in that place where Polovtsi tribes, they came from the east, they were a bit like wild. So he married the daughter of this nomad's daughter, and his son looked like nomads like Eastern. He had Asian appearance, not Russian appearance. So they were close to there. So I think it's explain why in Russia people so support dictatorship, because actually it was the first prince who created like some dictatorship. Yuri Dolgoruki, he tried to conquer Kiev because he was jealous. He would like to take over Kiev, but it was impossible. One day, local people in Kiev, they poisoned him. Kievans do not like to have dictatorship. And and I think Putin understands that he never take Kiev, never take Ukraine, because people are too free here. That is why he tried to just ruin it and everything. I have relatives who live in Moscow, and we sometimes calls, not often. And when the war started, I asked why you don't do something, why you don't go in for meeting. She told that, oh, we are very small people, we are not government, there are government decide everything. So till now, people look on themselves as like simple people, we just doing our work, but there is government who do it. That is why they are totally different from Ukrainians. In 2013, when Ukrainians did not want Yanukovych, our former president, who was pro-Russian, we just started Euromaidan. People gathered together and stay for our right, although it was difficult. I remember that time I tried to help to people. We were making tea, sandwiches, and give to people from over there. So it was free society. I think Ukraine now became like Maidan because people were very supporting. We help each other. That's people just different who did not know each other become friends there. And I don't know. And after war started, I think we get such kind of connection. Of course, there are some problems because many people left Ukraine. Many men do not want to go to fight, and propaganda, especially Russian propaganda, tried to show our president as dictator who forced Ukrainians going for the front line, something like this, emphasize this. There are, of course, is anti-corruption as well. So, but I think if American President Trump would like to investigate such cases, he need to check these cases, not just check that you are dictatorship. He need to have some approval of what Zelensky did, what did his wrong or his administrations. So I agree that there are need some checking, but not just tell that you are not wearing suit.
Yeah,
So now all Ukrainians
I
wearing suit.
I have some follow-up questions, but I wanted to ask you real quick because what's in my mind about Zelensky. Now, are people being forced into conscription in Ukraine? I know that you're over there. Are those things true? Are people being forced into conscription, or is that just what we're being told?
When the war started, there were a lot of volunteers who would like to join the army.
Mm-hmm.
And this military brigade even told that they told that we don't need so many people. My cousin came there and twice he was refused to go in for the war. Now situation a bit changed because I think especially like year ago they had not enough people, so some TCK, this military office, they use such method like force people to but I even don't know because people who I know who fight now on front line, they fight there for 3 years. They are in very dangerous situation. I support some brigade who always on the front line. They were in Avdiivka, in different places. They post video. There are all the time some shooting, and I think, oh my God, how they are, how they survive there. It's they just there. I have my university friend who is historian. He worked in the Museum of Second World War in Ukraine. But when the war started, he went for war. He already there for 3 years. We just collected money for drones for him. He already got it. Yeah, Vitaly. He now sergeant. He have some raids. Yeah, so I know that many people already for 3 years there are. I know that there are were some not very good situation that people were forced. But all these cases are investigated by special military department. I know that my friend had not very good situation with her son that was called for the army and he had bad situation there. But she complained to military department about this, and the head of that garrison, he just was like sign up from his work and he left. It's so I think more or less in Ukraine we have when you your right is not like proceeding, you can complain to somebody and actually it's try to be fine. I don't know, but still we have a lot of work for this. You know that I know that last year we got a lot of drones. There are in Ukraine now a lot of places. There are people are doing drones like secretly, you know. So Ukraine now got their own production of drones, so it's become not so depend of US or Europe. So I think this is great.
It is. I can
Yeah.
say because I do a lot of research into that area, and so Ukraine has had a lot of successful targeting inside Russia. Ukraine has been very successful, and so that right there is going to help Ukraine. If their drone warfare, I think, can help turn the war a little bit. So it is exciting to see Ukraine move in that direction. You know, it's good stuff. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the war, we cannot make like big factory for drones, but as I understand, that's make like craft. But many people are involved in this. So I think this is great. Like 2 months ago, I did stream with American guy from California who moved to Ukraine around like 5 years ago. He met there with Ukrainian. They live in the village. They have just ordinary house, and he's happy with this life. You know, I try to be in touch with such people. So he is like drone engineer. Now he joined Ukrainian army, just volunteer, and he is in department of this drone department. So he support a lot for Ukraine. He also have YouTube channel and he collected some donation as well. So this is great that even foreigners like support us. So I think this is great idea to show Ukraine through foreigners, through English-speaking people who live there. A lot of Americans, English. Last week I had interview with a Spanish guy who live in Ukraine, and he work in volunteering organization. He help people, civilians on front line. So if we show how Ukraine live, next week I'm going to do interview with an American musician who came to Ukraine for learn singing, and now he is musician there. And I don't know, it's very interesting why people from Western world move to Ukraine, because we have type of stereotypes that life in Western world is better than in Ukraine, that life in Western Europe is better. But now Ukrainians can compare. And I think Ukrainians who now live even in England, they can see that in many aspects life in Ukraine is better. They understand what we lost. Because I think, first of all, this is like social aspects. We have more close relation between each other, not only like family relation, but also between relatives, between neighbors, between friends. I know if you going out from, I even going out from my flat in my small town in Cherkasy region, I meet a lot of people who I know. There are a lot of children on playground, especially now because many refugees came from eastern Ukraine from Kharkiv, from Donetsk, moved to our town. So there are a lot of people, and it's so nice that people are out on the street, they are in cafe, they are on the shops, and they all the time talking. I know that's Ricky like such kind of environment. He has a lot of friends in Ukraine. So
Well, I have a kind of like a follow-up question before we keep moving on. And one of the follow-up questions I have is, how has Ukrainian language, the usage of it, evolved since the war, especially in the regions that historically have spoken more Russian?
okay. About languages, yeah. I don't know, because in eastern Ukraine, actually a lot of a big part of eastern Ukraine is now occupied. Like 20% of Ukrainian territory is occupied. Many people from eastern Ukraine moved to western Ukraine, to Kiev. I know it, and actually people tell that they become speak Ukrainians or they continue to speak Russians. Actually, I think there are no problem. People don't see problem in this. What language do you speak? I remember there is program about Russian captured soldiers, and the wife, one of the soldier, came to Ukraine to find her husband, and she told to Russian, "You see, I am here in Ukraine, and nobody like bullying me. I'm going out to the shop, to everything. I speak Russian, and nothing happened. People are very friendly. This is not Nazi state. This is like democratic state. You can speak any language you want. This is not the problem." I think Greek speak English and speak a bit Ukrainians, but everybody understand him. So yeah, so I think there is not such like question about, yeah, Ukrainians prefer speak Ukrainians, but if somebody speak Russian, I think this is not the big deal for us. They can speak different languages, yeah. But I hope that Ukrainians will be. You know that I think we have lack of Ukrainian movies and Ukrainian cartoons, especially for kids. When my son watch cartoons, there are a lot of Russian cartoons, not Ukrainians. This is the problem. Ukrainian filmmakers should something more, or at least translate for kids, because now very popular American cartoons in from England, and I think they should to translate them into Ukrainian as well. Yeah. But I'm going to make interview with this guy from America who live in Kiev, and sometimes he is translator, interpreter for film shooting. He told that in Ukraine till now they shoot a lot of different film, a lot of movies in Kiev. So I think they're going on and to do some production of the films.
It's amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, what's going
I'm learning a
on?
lot about Ukraine by listening to you. Thank you. And so part of like what I do, I do a lot of research. I don't know if Ricky have told you, but I'm kind of like a researcher. And so my next thing that I wanted to ask you is that I've come across reports of Russia targeting Ukrainian culture sites. The UN confirmed that as of early of 2024, at least 360 cultural sites in Ukraine have been damaged or destroyed. How does this impact Ukraine's cultural preservation efforts?
Do you mean that many like cultural buildings were destroyed or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's according
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the UN report. Yeah, I thought that
yeah,
was interesting.
yeah. I
360
know that,
cultural.
especially when the war started, there are some museums were burned. In the north of in Kiev region, on the north, there was a museum of Ukrainian artists, very good artists. But unfortunately, bomb fell down there on rock and it was destroyed. And it's very big tragedy because Ukrainians try to preserve everything. But for now, museum keep their collection underground. I used to work in Museum of Gold in Ukraine. There are a lot of gold stuff, items from the old period, from the 2000 years before, and my colleagues just keep them somewhere in the bomb shelter, in the underground, and they leave just duplicate on the walls, just in case. Yeah. So yeah, they try to keep them in such. Although we lost a lot in eastern Ukraine, I know that there were some historical sites in Donetsk region, in Dnipropetrovsk region that suffer a lot before because of the war. I know that many archaeologists did their project in Mariupol, but after occupation, the site just lost. So this is yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think the most important is life of people. In this case, yeah. But many museums still are doing their work. In one of my video, I show our Museum of Gold. My colleagues show it, and she shows some exhibition. They are working on the exhibition, like on Ukrainian culture exhibition. So they compare like the old cultural objects and the new one. She showed how rocket explode on the side, the Greek side in the eastern Ukraine. For instance, in the south Ukraine, in the old time, were lived Greek colonists in Crimea. Probably you heard about Chersones. This is like Greek settlements in Crimea. I
Whoa.
was there in 2011. There are amazing sites. They have stones, building, still they are there, and everything. This is just near by sea coast. So hopefully that we will get Crimea back control there. This bit lost.
That's cool. My wife's family's Greek, so I thought that was interesting.
Mm,
So
yeah. So actually, the Greeks they bring here cultural. Because on the territory of Ukraine, like in 6th century BC, there live Scythians. There were nomads, but they were rich. They have like money, and very often they order gold stuff to Greeks. Greeks people were very good in crafting, in making some stuffs. So in Museum of Gold in Kiev, if you visit Kiev, you can see amazing gold pectoral, gold necklaces made by Greeks craftsmen. So these nomads, they try to like collaborate with Greeks. And Greek these Greek settlements became part of Roman Empire in that time. So actually, they bring culture as well to other. They were the first like cultural impact to here and civilization impact. The same as Western Europe, Gothics, Germans were impacted by Roman Empire, and actually all today Europe came from, that's from Roman empires. Ukrainian got religion from Byzantine Empire, from Constantinople. Oh, this long story, yeah. So we got influence from the Rus. So we have a lot of different cultural, different historical objects. I think if people come to here, they will be impressed. Really, when I was tour guide, I did tour all around Kiev. I did tour to Lavra Monastery. This is ancient monastery, the first Christian monastery in the territory of Kiev Rus of Kiev. We did tour, especially for Americans. Americans like some nature, to village. Yeah, we show beautiful village where people keep their houses Ukrainian ornamental. It's called green tourist. I don't know if in US it's popular. When people make their houses in Ukrainian style, and people from towns, they visit this house, they live there, people host them, people treat them with food, with Ukrainian traditional food. I remember I came there with two young people from America. I think from America. They had Ukrainian roots. It was sister and brother, and they were just impressed by by ordinary life. When they can milking goats, they can try Ukrainian food. They try to play Ukrainian music. So this is great. Yeah, before the war, I did this project, and hopefully after the war, I will be continue this. That is why I am fight for this. I
hope to continue the route I'm on as well.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people, in this in my journey. So, and you're one of them. You're one of the many people I've met on my journey.
From what journey you mean?
Oh, the journey when I've been reporting on Ukraine and learning so much about Ukraine. I've met so many interesting people, and and you're
Yeah.
one of those I'm adding. Like
Yeah.
met so many interesting people on this journey. So thank you for
Thank you.
the opportunity as well. I'm learning a lot about Ukraine, so thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. There is kind of a lot of talk, but it's just
But
So
I have some more follow-up questions if you don't mind. Some things I had jotted down. I was going to ask you, what role do artists, musicians, and writers play in preserving Ukrainian identity during the time of war?
Yeah, I think they have very important artists, musicians, singers. They have very important role. I don't know if Ukrainians live in your area. Did you meet Ukrainians?
Well,
What state?
I go to an Orthodox church, and so our church is full of Russian, Ukrainians, Greeks, Romanians, Polish, Syrian.
Cool.
We have a big church. There's a lot of culture in our church. So
Yeah. This is great. That's yeah. So here in Oxford, we have also a big Ukrainian community. Last week we celebrated Women's Day. And Ukrainian lady, they work there in different organizations like refugees organization. They organize very nice festival. There was Ukrainian music, Ukrainian singing. In Oxford, one lady, she created Ukrainian British choir. So in this choir, singing and British people and Ukrainians together. So we can share our culture, our language with the British people. Many British people started to learn in even Ukrainian language, so this is great. So I think now we have chance to show our culture to foreigners, even being here abroad. As one of person who I was speaking to, he told that Ukrainians can just share our country. By the way, some weeks ago, I had also stream with the guy who is Americans, Yuri Fedinsky. His name is Yuri Fedinsky. He was like ordinary Americans, but his roots were from Ukraine. His grandmother and grandfather moved from Ukraine to US. And he so loved Ukraine. He learned Ukrainians. He played Ukrainian music. So he moved to Ukraine. He married with Ukrainian girls. They live just somewhere in the village in Poltava region, you know. And he created the old Ukrainian musical instrument, bandura. Probably you know bandura. So he became one of the best bandura player and bandura maker. So they got 5 children, you can imagine. One of them, the little one, just 2 years old. And now, together with his children, with 5, they have tour in US. They going through different cities of US. They play Ukrainian music. His children are singing. So probably I will share with you his contact, and it's interesting me to speak to him. Yuri Fedinsky. He is the big Ukrainian patriots. Yeah, for now they in US, but they after the tour they would like to come back to Ukraine. So there are a lot of great people who support Ukraine. I know that in US a lot of people who support. So this is great.
It is.
Yeah.
Now, my next question is, how can the international community support Ukraine's cultural heritage?
Support Ukrainian cultural heritage. Okay. I think after the war, a lot of Ukrainians joins universities. Like in Oxford, there are a lot of people from Ukraine who study now. Many people who used to work in Ukrainian university, they were moved to different university over the world. I know that many Ukrainians now represent Ukrainian history and culture on different conferences. So I think there are a lot of support from international community Ukrainians get. In the university in US, in this the biggest one, Stanford, yeah, university. There is Ukrainian historian who tell in English about Ukrainian history. I don't remember, but he is very well known, over the world. So I think this is very great that Ukrainians' voice is heard, that Ukrainians got a very good position over the world. I know a Ukrainian writer who travel over the Europe and represent Ukrainians' books. I think we need more like English-speaking people who can tell about Ukraine. Here in Oxford years ago was Alexandra, the Ukrainian right defender, Alexandra Matvichuk, I think, very nice lady who tried to defend the right of Ukrainians, especially Ukrainians who were taken to Russia, and she is really great in represent Ukraine, to tell a word about Ukraine. So I think we have the great people who can tell the word about Ukraine, but we need more people. That's the old generation usually don't speak English. I ask historian, archaeologists, let's tell word about history, but unfortunately there are not many people who speak English, so this is the problem. Now we have a new generation who speak great. So I think Ukraine is open country, and if you visit our country, you can see a lot of people who speak English. I know that Ricky has a lot of English-speaking friends and even militarists. One of them was on your channel, I think. Yeah.
Yes, with my time in the military, I've been to several countries, and I've met many people who could speak English, and so it was exciting that there are people out there
Yeah.
that can speak English. I mean, they're learning, and so
Yeah.
so it helped me understand a little more by meeting those people throughout my time in the military. So.
Yeah, but by the way, I would like to ask about Iraq. You told that you was militaries in Iraq.
Mm-hmm. I was.
Yeah, and many people like criticize that America went to Iraq, but now Iraq is fine. I think this is.
There's a lot of criticism for what we did when in Iraq, and looking back now, because for me it's been well over 20 years now, and I was young. I would say 22, going on 23. So I was really young, and I'm 43 now. So I've had a lot of time to think about it. But what I did learn was that there were people there who wanted us there, and I recall those villages very plainly. The people who did want us there, and I think that you get this sense where I think that humanity is supposed to take care of humanity. And it shouldn't matter whether I'm American or you're Ukrainian. Does that make sense? I think that
Yeah,
we have an obligation to one another as humanity to help
yeah,
each other. And I think that uh, if a person is a Muslim, they're still a brother and a sister. Even though I'm a Christian, from humanity's standpoint, I look at everybody as a brother, a sister. And so even though there's a lot of criticism from me, I'm proud of what I did. Does that make sense? Like, I'm
yeah,
proud. And Ukraine should be proud because I'll tell you this: if somebody was to invade my country, I'd fight. Even now, as old as I am, if somebody was to try and roll into my country and tell me what to do, I would think I would stand and fight for that country. And I think I'd fight until there was nothing left, because
the
you
same
might as well fight to
Ukrainians. Yeah,
preserve what you have than to let it be taken over. So, that's my warrior heart, right? That's I hope that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because why I ask? We used to hear about Iraq. That is in the war. There are dangerous situation. But I think like 10 or 7 years ago, I had a dance teacher. I took part in the dancing band, and she has husband from Iraq. He is compositor, very nice, like Eastern compositor. So she told that there are much problem to go to Iraq. Iraq become very like open. She told that she feels safe there, and the situation much more improved there. She just need to wear something, but I know that people from and Iran now it's under the dictatorship, and from Iraq, from Eastern country are very hospitable. They are very open and share food and everything.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah. One of the point also, I know that the American criticize democratic government because it's involved in different war. But if we remind Serbia, there was also war in the 1990s. Serbia was very connected with Russia. All the time Russia supports Serbia, and they also told that this is our area, there is Orthodox and something like this. There was very bad situation with the dictator, I don't remember how, he did a lot of crime there, he killed a lot of people. But US and Europe started to just shooting them, and everything become improve, after this time. I was on Balkan in Croatia last summer, and there are amazing people, amazing, a lot of tourists there are. Nothing remind about the war, but you can imagine if still there were this pro-Russian and everything, and there was war, that's so. I think it was good that America was involved and did something. So now this country, a lot of businesses and a lot of tourists, I don't know, going there. Nothing just remind about the war, but they understand Ukrainians very well. We met people who told that we also had war. There was one man who took part in the war, and we understand you. They are also Slavic, the same. My mom even understand them, so this is great. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes we need to fight. We have no other choice, but hope that the war will finish and we will have peace. Just we need to keep our right, and we need to.
No, you made a good point though, because sometimes you have to fight. Like me, I'm a man of peace. I want to be a man of peace, but you and I both know sometimes there has to be fighting in order to have peace. Does that make sense? I mean, it's sometimes when you're back against the wall, you have to fight. When your country's invaded, you're back against the wall. You have to fight. And so,
that
Ukraine situation, your back is against the wall, and so you're fighting.
During the last meeting, Zelensky and Trump. Trump insists that Zelensky sign up agreement, but Zelensky told that what guarantee we can get. What guarantee we can get that Russia will not shut again? But Trump told, okay, I was speaking to Putin, and he promised to me Russia. I don't know, but people don't understand that Russians, they understand just force. If somebody stop them, when they stop, if just blah 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 talk about it, they can tell, okay, we will not be shooting Ukraine anymore. But they never, many people was never trust Russia. We need serious guarantee. We need real guarantee that Russia would not attack us again. So these people are like crazy. So just that they just understand the fight that somebody who's strong from them. That is why Putin do not like our army, because army Ukrainians stand against Russian. Yeah, and it was, I think, not very good that Ukrainian refuse of weaponry in 1999. I think that happened when Ukrainians refused of nuclear weaponry. Yeah, our army for a long time was very weak. But when the war started from the 2014, slowly we get more and more like military stuff and everything from America. We did by ourselves, we volunteers. I heard as a tourist the lady who was military, US military, but she came to train Ukrainian. Yes, so we had a lot of support from US, from Western country, and we really very grateful for this support. Otherwise, we are very small country compared to Russian. Like there are 250 million people. We have just 50 50 million, but nevertheless we stand again. Yeah, and again we have culture, we have our culture, we have our religion, we have our spirits, and we have God. So I believe that we will win everything. So thank you a lot for inviting me for this interview, Jared.
Oh, you're welcome. No, I mean, it's been eye-opening for me in just listening to you and gaining insight. I have all these questions, but we're over an hour, and I've had all these questions, but it's been a really good interview. It really has.
Yeah, thank you a lot. And I'm thinking that next week you can participate in my channel. I told to Ricky that we can my stream with you and Ricky, and we
Oh yes,
can discuss
please.
about Ukrainian cultural difference between US and Ukrainians. So as you Americans who never was in Ukraine and Ricky who is in Ukraine, you can discuss how Ukrainian culture and people difference from US point of views.
I'm looking forward to that. That'd be.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. So we can discuss time and day.
But
Great.
when we're done with this, it's gonna take some time to load. But you want me to tag you on your channel and YouTube? I can tag you in this video.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
So
Yeah, and I will share also this video on my Facebook.
well, we have to finish this again at some point because I have a lot to ask. But we so. But no, thank you for this
Thank you
opportunity.
for.
I do look forward to more time, more of these because I think these are good discussions. I mean, you bring up some really good points. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. So
Thank you for inviting me. That's hope you will not block after this conversation about politics. And we really are very grateful to all Americans who support us. So thank you for standing with Ukraine.
I always say that the best way to support is to get your voice out, right? And I think that that's what we're all doing, right? From every position we have, we're getting our voice out. And so it's very important, and I think that I told a lot of people this, I'm doing this for me. I know how I got into this. And for me, it's the truth, right? It's objectively looking at what's happening. And the more I learn, the more, that old military warrior in me, it's like, if I could help Ukraine in another way, I would, because I'm that battle guy. But I think my fight is over. So my fight is now reporting on Ukraine, the news. That's how I fight now in that way.
Yeah, this is great. That's we lock off. So
if anybody wants to ask how to support, I'm gonna tell them, get your voice going, right? Get your voice going. Get a channel going. Get your own YouTube going. It's
I heard that many Americans started to actively support, and they show their video in the costume or with now become very popular this military clothes that Zelensky had during the Trump meeting. So everybody buy this jumper Zelensky. My friend wrote to me, Ira, where I can get T-shirt with Zelensky, something like this. So he become popular. And after this situation, it's helped to wake up again, and so many people support. From my village also, they were in this costume and they told that we are with our president. So this is amazing how people unite and everything.
Thank you, Iryna.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Yep.
Okay,
Nice
you
chat.
too. Yeah. What time is now in US?
It's 5:18 in the morning here. So
We have 1:18 afternoon already. So have a good day.
Thank you so much.
And thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.